Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice, Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host. Grateful for you. I'm grateful to be with you, but I'm grateful for you, the listener. You are sitting there, standing there, walking, whatever it is that you're doing with intention. You are listening to this podcast to build your mind, to build your soul, to build your spirit. Maybe for some entertainment. Maybe I'm entertaining. I don't know. Hopefully I am. I think I'm entertaining, and that's all that matters. You could be listening to music. You could be listening to a fiction novel. You could be listening to murder mystery. You could be listening to any other thing, but you're listening to this. And that tells me a lot about you. That tells me that you are a driver, that you are a worker, that you are trying to achieve what most people said is impossible for you. You're trying to drive to this result, this person of being that you know is within you. You're chiseling it away. But so many people don't see it yet. Keyword being yet. They will. And they will stop doubting you when that happens. I am proof of that. I've always been a driver. I've always been one with great desires in life, but the achievements didn't necessarily match the desire at the time, but they're starting to. And as that happens, you go from all these people doubting you to they've always been in your corner. They've always supported you, which is far from the truth. But you know, and you're driving and you're pushing, and that is just so cool. And that's a little bit what I want to talk about today. It is of no mystery that I am a huge Napoleon Hill fan. If you don't know who Napoleon Hill is, you've been living under a rock. If you're listening to my podcast and in this space of the mindset, personal growth space, you've been living under a rock. To recap who Napoleon Hill is, outside of the guy that wrote Think and Grow Rich, he wrote something like 60 books. He lived in the late 1800s all the way into the mid 1900s, his late 1900s. He was born in 1890s or something like that. And he was at the turn of the century. He sold a few things. He was a salesman and then started working for Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie is the creator of industrialism. He created the manufacturing of steel process to be very efficient versus very costly. And in today's dollars, he still stands to be one of the wealthiest humans to ever live. Fun fact, he knew nothing about steel. He knew nothing about manufacturing, but he knew how to manage people. He knew how to get the best people in the best rooms, to get the best minds together to create what he called the mastermind and utilize the idea today known as the Clydesdale effect. One Clydesdale can pull 7,000 pounds, but two Clydesdales can pull like 30,000 pounds. It doesn't double, it triples, over triples, because it is unification of power. And he being Andrew Carnegie, had Napoleon Hill, whom did this for free for 20 years, interviewed the wealthiest, smartest, most successful people in the world, about 500, and deduced a philosophy, what makes them tick. Anywhere from Henry Ford to Thomas Edison to Einstein, all of them. He interviewed them on behalf of Andrew Carnegie because Andrew Carnegie wanted to deduce this philosophy that everybody probably had. He figured everybody had some form or fashion, similar ideals and ideologies that made them as successful as they were. He was correct. He ended up dying in 1919, and he never saw Napoleon Hill's work come to fruition. But that's the philosophy, or the PMA, positive mental attitude philosophy, 17 skills and traits that Napoleon Hill discovered out of these 500 people that he interviewed. And one thing that I loved, and he reiterates very often in many forms and fashions, it sums up to an idea that men of great achievement, men and women of great achievement, men of great achievement are men of great desires. They want something, and they want it bad. He discusses in extense having a burning desire. That is beyond just a hope or a wish or a want. This is obsessional desire. You must be obsessed with the things that you want. All of my mentors, every one of them, in the businesses they were in the philanthropic events they're in whatever it is they do, they become obsessed. If you want to truly achieve things, you must become obsessed. It must be on your mind at all times. It must be in your vocabulary at all times. It is in every conversation. There was once upon a time, Michaela and I were on a date. She says, can you just not talk about work, what you do for work or what's going on at work for like an hour? Just be us and our goals and us. And my brain couldn't wrap around that because I know nothing different. I speak of nothing different. And as a result, with time, Michaela now only speaks about goals and what her drive is and what she's obsessing over. And as we obsess over things, they come to pass. It's amazing how that happens. Our reticular activating system kicks in, gets engaged, and just draws in the things that we desire with action. That's the big part. It's not just sitting here with the whole attract the universe to you while you sit and do nothing. It is putting forth the work, putting forth the action, having this massive desire to have impact, influence, relationships, family, growth, this yearning for more. It is beyond just a simple desire. I was speaking with my personal trainer yesterday, and he is a very empathetic man. I love him to death. He is amazing. And we were talking about how he was sitting in his office before my appointment, and he brought himself to tears thinking how bad he wanted to achieve a physique of self and of mind and of body so greatly to impact and influence others for the positive and to bring them to God and to be a light unto others. He wanted it so bad it brought him to tears. How often do you think about something so intensely that you begin to cry? You become emotional physically because of how desperately and how bad you want it. Every man that Napoleon Hill interviewed, every man, every woman, every person, he speaks in the masculine, by the way. Every man that he ever interviewed, all 500, were all of great achievement, and they were all of great desire. How big is your desire for the things you want? When I ask you, what do you want in life? It should be right there. You should have it at the tip of your tongue because it is all you think about. It is everything within you. Every action, every thought, every conversation, every movement, everything you do in life is driven to this one thing or these sums of things. And how important it is that should be right there. If I ask you, what do you want? And you sit back and say, I don't know. Well, then you are lacking desire. You are lacking a definite major purpose. The thing that you're trying to drive. For me, the thing is influencing others to become their best self. And I use my voice to do that. I speak to others via this podcast, via the teachings and the lessons we do at the prison, via everyday conversations with people. I strive to be the exemplar of pushing yourself, becoming better, forever evolving, forever growing, forever stretching and being molded into somebody that's new. Becoming a reborn person every single day so I can keep driving forward for impact, for influence. It is not just I use my voice and then my actions don't back it up. I have to go to the gym every day. I have to curate my body. I have to curate my mind. I have to curate my spirit and my soul every day. Do my actions? Am I studying scripture? Am I praying? Am I working my body? Am I eating nutritious, healthy food that is energizing me so I can do these things? Am I putting myself in places to have conversations with people to cause influence? We teach at the prison every Wednesday night. We have for fairly recently, since last August. So this August will be a year. I've been going to the prison now for over a year, but our specific class every Wednesday has been since August. So what is that, like 8 months? And it has been nothing short of amazing. But I want to do more. I'm working on businesses that allow me the time to go do these things. I would love to go to county jail. I would love to go to other prisons and to teach. I was asked yesterday if I would be a speaker at an inpatient facility down in Utah County. How cool is that? Of course I do. That aligns perfectly with my definite major purpose. It is to bring others my specific, if you want to know the exact definite major purpose, summed up to a few words, which is be as transparent glass so others may see the light of Christ through me. That is my definite major purpose. That is what I'm driving for. When I say impact, influence, helping others, I must be that transparent being so others may see God through me. But those are big shoes, right? And so I must always be working to further my spirit, my mind, my body, my heart. They must always be aligned. My chakras must be aligned. And I have done chakra tests to test that. Physical with instrumentation tests to test my energies. Where are you driving with your desire? And with that desire, does achievement match? And I'm not saying achievement has to be buy the house, buy the car, buy the watch. Achievement means, are you unlocking those things you're trying to do? Are you making headway? It's been really cool. I was talking to the person that initially got me into prison, legally, of course, and he got me out too. But he was the driver. He was the path. He was the way. And I was speaking to him last night, and I told him, I said, the reason why our class is even a thing is because of you. You opened the door for us. You exposed me to this world. And because of that, I'm forever grateful. Because of that, we have a class that is the highest sign-up class in the history of Utah State Prison. We had half of the women's population sign up for our class for this cohort number 2. How cool is that? And I modified our book, our workbook, from 50 pages to 100 pages. And I worked through the whole thing and I revitalized it. And now I'm revitalizing it for cohort 3. I'm making it better. I'm driving with the feedback that I'm getting so I can have a greater impact. The desire is there. The actions match the desire and achievement follows. Men of great achievement are men of great desires. It all starts with your desire. What do you want? That is actually the first lesson I have with every person that I mentor, every person that I coach, every person that I work with. What do you want? And I usually relate it to The Notebook because it's a really funny scene when they're standing in the rain. He just keeps on shaking her. What do you want? But that truly is the case. That is the ultimate question. What do you want? And then from there, everything else in life is deduced. Everything percolates from that point on. What do you want? If you can't answer what do you want, you're missing the point. You're just aimlessly shooting. So it doesn't matter where you point, doesn't matter what action you do because you have no direction and no target. You need to have a desire. You need to have a direction. You need to know what it is you're trying to accomplish. You need to know what you want. And with that, you'll get to where you're trying to go. It is inevitable as long as you keep walking and don't quit. You just keep moving. There is no failure. There's just learning. There's just setback. But it is inevitable getting to where you're trying to go if you keep walking. I've done plenty of episodes on that. That is what I have for you. Share this episode with your friends and your family. Grow with me. Do it with me. Leave me a review. Let's have a conversation. I would love to have a conversation with you about whatever it is you want to talk about. It would be awesome. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.